This video is for students who either were absent or just need a little extra guidance with this sheet. It is the color theory practice sheet, and this video is going to be a little while because we have a lot of work to do on it. There's a lot to this. So try to keep up. Remember, you can hit pause if you ever need to on this video. And let's get started. We're gonna begin with our primary colors. One of our primary colors is red. I'm gonna use the burnishing technique when I'm coloring in. This is my first primary color. When I look at this color wheel, I can see a little triangle in the middle. The triangle in the middle is for my primary colors. So I've colored red here. I'm going to use this top part of the triangle for red. And when I do that, I can see that it is pointing to this section of the color wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in as well. Now you can see as I do this, keeping inside the lines is not my strong suit, but I'm going to do the best I can to do that and also keep this moving at a pretty quick pace. So I have this. My next color of the primaries is yellow. Oh, by the way, before I move on, how about if I label this now? So I'm going to label this on the color wheel. Obviously, this is red. Moving on. Yellow will be my next color. I'm going to put a nice vibrant color. I'm using vibrant colors here because I want to make sure that I have the purest color I can make. So this is yellow. I'm going to make my yellow here in this bottom right-hand section of the triangle, my primary triangle. And I can see that it is pointing at this section. So I'm going to color this in yellow. And then when I'm done coloring it in, I'm going to go ahead and label that. I'm going to do it this way by moving and labeling yellow. Okay, now blue. I'd like for you to do a neater coloring in than I am, but again, I'm trying to not make this video last too long. It's going to be long enough as it is. This last section of the triangle is blue. And again, I see where it is pointing, and I'm going to color this section of my color wheel blue. And of course, I'm going to label it. Blue. Okay, so I have my primary colors done. Primary colors are the first three colors. We call them primary. Primary is another word for first. There are no colors that you can mix together to make these colors. You can't mix two colors together and get red. Red is just a primary color. Same with yellow and blue. Secondary colors are, they occur when we do mix two primaries. So I'm going to start off under my secondary colors by coloring in red, and yellow. Many of you probably already know this, but red and yellow are going to make what? Orange. So I'm going to put a nice yellow base here. And I'm going to do light layers now over it. And I think I'm going to do 2 layers, 2 light layers of red so that I get a nice vibrant orange. Okay, now because I'm using watercolor pencils, I'm going to take a little bit of water on my brush and I'm going to blend it together with that. At this point, I want to be looking at my work and thinking, before I put this on the color wheel, am I happy with this color? And I think it's a pretty good orange. I'm happy enough with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my color wheel and see where my red and yellow are touching. There's another big triangle, and that's going to be a secondary color triangle. I'm going to do just what I did down here. I'm going to make a nice vibrant yellow in this big secondary color triangle. And I'm going to take 2 light layers of red and put that over so that I end up with orange. Orange is a secondary color. Again, I'm going to blend it. And of course, we notice what this is pointing at. Another section of our color wheel. Remember, I'm working really fast to try to make this not last forever, this video. So my work is going to be a little messier than hopefully yours is. I can see it's pointing here. I'm very happy with my orange that I put down, so I'm going to do the same thing. 1 vibrant layer of yellow, 2 light layers of red. And I'm doing these light layers above with the stronger pigment because it gives me more control. I have more choice, and I'm paying attention to what I'm doing as far as these layers go, because it's going to make a difference in the end. What I'm going to be doing is making tertiary colors, and then I'm really going to want to remember, how much did I add? How much of that red? That's great. That's a good orange. So now that I have my orange done on my color wheel, I'm going to label it. Now, write neatly, and do check your spelling whenever you're writing on an assignment. My next secondary group is going to be yellow and blue. And of course, you should know that is going to make green. So, just like with my orange, I'm going to do a nice vibrant yellow. I'm going to do, honestly, you know what? I have done 2 layers of blue before, and I wasn't thrilled with how it looked. I learned from my mistakes, so I'm going to tell you right now, let's do 3 light layers of blue. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm making sure that my brush is nice and clean. And this is going to be my green. We can see how that blends. So nice. I really love watercolor pencils. Okay, now I'm ready to come over to my color wheel. And again, when I look at the triangle, I can see where the yellow and blue meet, and that is where I'm working, yellow and blue meeting here. I'm going to put my vibrant yellow down. And then How many did I do here? I did 3 light layers of blue. Here's a 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, I hope I have enough of that down here. That's actually a little too yellow. So I'm going to make sure when I put it here, I'm learning from my mistake. I'm doing my layer of yellow. I think my last layer of blue, I did a little too fast. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 layers of blue. And that's more like it. I'm happier with that. I'm going to go ahead and bring some of this up here. Okay. All right. And my last secondary color is going to be, oh, I got to label this. Sorry. I keep forgetting. This is green, of course. Green. Okay, green. My last secondary color that I'm going to do is red and blue. And when I add those two together, what I'm going to do, because these are such strong pigments, is I'm going to do kind of a light layer of red. And then I'm going to do 2 layers of blue. Not too strong. 1, 2. I'm going to make sure my brush is clean, because if I get any of this yellow into this mix, I'm going to end up with a real muddy color. So I've cleaned my brush off and I'm getting violet now. This to me is the most difficult color to get right. I have a hard time getting it to where I want it to be. But there we go. Good enough. That is going to be violet. So when I come over here, I have one more triangle to fill in. So here I'm going to put my light layer of red down. And then I did 2 layers of blue. Okay. And that's going to be my violet. Violet is also called purple. Some people are pretty strict on that they don't want you to call it purple. And I don't know what your future art teacher is going to be like. And so let's go ahead and get into the habit of calling this violet, just to be using the terminology that other teachers like. Personally, I don't mind you calling it purple, but why not just get into good habits now? Okay, So I'm going to label this as not purple, but violet. I'm going to go ahead and write violet. Okay, so we're done with our secondary colors. Now we still have all these empty spaces. We are going to fill them in with tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are going to be in this row. And what we're going to do is we're going to look this over. We're going to find a primary and a secondary, and we're going to mix them together. So red and orange. When we mix them together, what we're going to do is label it right now. We're always going to start with the name of the primary color, which would be red. And this color is going to be red orange. So let's go ahead and label the rest of them. We have red orange. We have orange and yellow, but which one is the primary color? Yellow. So I'm going to write yellow, orange. I'm going to keep on going around. Yellow, green. Now, hopefully when you're doing your blending with the water, you're not really using a ton of water, right? This is such little teeny tiny spaces. You should make sure that your brush is not super wet. It should not be dripping water. Green and blue. Which one is the primary color? Blue. So we're going to call it blue, green. Blue and violet. Which one is primary? Blue. So it's blue, violet. And one last turn. Violet and red. Which one is primary? Red is. So we're going to call it red, violet. Now it's going to come in very handy to remember how much we used when we mixed our secondary colors. Let's start with this, red orange. For red orange, I want to make orange, but it needs to be more what color? More red. So I've got my vibrant yellow that I put down. Here I did 2 light layers of red. So I'm going to put 2 light layers of red, and that'll get me to orange. But I think I want to double that if I really want it to be red orange. So double 2 layers would be 4 layers. So I'm going to do 2 more. 1, 2, and that makes it 4 layers of red on 1 layer of yellow. And let's see how that looks. We're experimenting down here, and we're going to see how we like it before we add it to our color wheel. And yeah, that looks good. Kind of looks like a hot Cheeto or some lava, right? It's very red, but it's warmer than the regular red. We've got that yellow in there. Okay, so let's come up here to our color wheel and do red orange. Again, it's 1 layer of yellow. How many layers of red? 4. That's a lot of red. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's definitely more red than our original orange. Okay, great. Let's go on to yellow orange. Again, I want to remember how many layers of red did I put onto my orange? I put 1 layer of yellow, 2 layers of orange. Now I want it to be an orange that is more yellow. So let's start with our nice yellow layer. Now on orange, I did 2 layers of red. For yellow orange, I'm just going to do half of that. So half of 2 layers of red would be 1 layer of red. 1 light layer of red. Let's see how it looks. It should look more yellow than our original orange. And what do you think? Actually, my brush is a little too wet here. Okay, so here's yellow orange, and here's our original orange. It's definitely more yellow. So let's move that up here to the color wheel. I'm going to do 1 layer, light layer, of course, of red. Okay. Our next color is yellow-green. So we're going to want it to be more yellow than our original green. So this was our original green. We did 3 layers of blue. I want to do way less than that on this. So I think I'm just going to do 1 light layer of blue. I'm making sure my brush is really clean now. And it should look mostly yellow. It's going to have kind of a pretty tropical look to it. There, it is definitely more yellow than my original green. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do 1 layer of yellow and then a real light layer of blue. Okay. Whew. All right. Next is blue-green. So we want it to be green, but more blue. So we start off making green, which is 1 layer of yellow, and remember, 3 layers of blue. Now for blue-green, I want to double that, just like I did with red-orange. So I've got 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer for regular green. Now I want to double that. I'm going to do 3 more layers. 4, 5, 6. And that might seem a little crazy, but you know, it gives us the control of how much green or blue we really want to put on there. Here we go. And when I'm looking at this, it definitely looks more blue than my original green. So you might look at that and just say like, oh, that looks like what I picture as green. And, you know, we are just learning from that. And as you see the color wheel get filled in, you'll see that it is like a gradual change to blue. We're putting that layer of yellow down, and I put 6 down here. You might decide when you're looking at this that you want to do even more than 6 layers because you want it to be more of a bluish color. So I've got 2 layers. Let's see if we put 7 layers. How that's going to look, I don't know. Here's our third. 4th, 5th, 6th. Should we go ahead and put a 7th? Let's do it. 7 layers. Now that is a lot of blue. Let's see how it looks. That's probably more what I'm thinking when I think blue-green. So maybe 7 is the magic number here that is going to give us the result we're after. I did 7 layers. That's a lot of blue. All right. There. I like it. Okay, we've got 2 more tertiary colors. We have blue violet. Remember with violet, the original violet, we did a light layer of red. We followed that up with 2 layers of blue. Well, if I want it to be blue violet, again, I'm going to double that amount. So I've got 1, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers. Please make sure you're cleaning your brush really well. If you get yellow into this violet, you're going to end up with mud. Here we go. That's 4 layers of blue on 1 layer of red. Does it look bluer than our original violet? Yeah, it does. I mean, like I said before, I find this to be the most difficult. I think because sometimes they add a little yellow to blue or red to kind of warm it up a bit. So you don't get a really, really pure, not with these products anyway. I'm sure if you're using higher end products, you're going to get a purer pigment. But for classroom supplies, we don't generally get top of the line stuff because we have to supply for so many people. Okay, so there's 1 layer of red. I'm in my blue violets, right? And I'm doing 1. How many layers did I do? 4? 2. 3. And here it's okay if we go over into the blue a little bit because it's blue already. 4, which is great news for me because, I'm not great at staying inside the lines. I just am not. Maybe it's getting worse as my eyes get a little older. Okay. So it's definitely bluer than our original violet. And of course, our last one, I like this one that we're going to do next. It's red violet. We'll do a layer of red. Oh, watch this. But we want it to be redder, right, than our original. Our original, we did 1 layer of red and then 2 layers of blue. Let's reverse this and do 2 layers of red and 1 layer of blue. And I just love how this color turns out. What we end up with, I feel like I put too much blue on this one. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's looking better. This ends up looking almost like a raspberry jam. So here I'm coming up here to my red violet area. Again, I am working way faster than you guys need to. You can take your time, hit pause when you need to. I've got 1 layer of red. I've got 2 layers of red. And then I'm going to do 1 layer of blue over that. I'm going to blend them. And it's like a raspberry color. It's so pretty. Now, if you do a really good job of cleaning your brush, you can go ahead and blend the primary colors to give it more of a painterly look so it doesn't look like a scratchy colored pencil. You know, you just go over and it'll make it look like it's blending a bit better. But you don't have to. You can do that if you want. No need. Okay, now we're done with our tertiary colors. And we're finished with our color wheel. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Let's look at analogous colors. And this you're going to fill in on your own, but let's just go over what analogous is really quick. These are colors that are beside each other on the color wheel. And even that kind of confuses kids sometimes, but what I like to do is I like to take my fingers, 3 fingers, pick any colors on the color wheel and put them on there. These are analogous colors. I don't see any colors in between where my 3 fingers are. I can do that on any colors that I want. What I have seen is people say, oh, red, orange, yellow. So let's try that. You think that red, orange, and yellow are analogous. We have red, orange, yellow, but there's these colors in the middle. So are those analogous colors? They're not. Okay? So what you're going to do on your color wheel is find any 3 colors where you can put your fingers down and there are no colors in between. And you're going to fill that in here. Now, if you do that and it's hard to tell what colors are, feel free to label them with the names of the colors. You're also going to do monochromatic on your own. And what you'll do is please choose either red or yellow, or not yellow, red or blue. Don't use the yellow because yellow is really too light. And I want you to color your first square in really vibrant, color your last square in so light that it almost looks white. And then almost like a value scale, I want you to increase the amount of pigment in each box by just a little bit until you get to that full vibrancy of the first box. Again, I'm doing this really fast. Hopefully you're doing it more neatly than I am. Okay, now complementary. I am going to just write down the definition and I want you to copy this on your sheet. Our definition for complementary is 2 colors that are, we're just going to write directly across from each other on the color wheel. You can choose any 2 colors that are complementary and put one here and here. So when I look here and I take my pencil, I'm going to hold it in the center of my triangle and I can see now that it's touching 2 colors on that outer wheel. Those are complementary, so red and green, they're complementary. Take my pencil, put it on the center of the triangle, and let's do this. Blue, violet, and yellow, orange. These are complementary colors, and you can do that with any colors on the color wheel. Just pick any of them. If you do blue, violet, and yellow, orange, that's fine. Here you'll put blue, violet. Here you'll put yellow, orange. Now, over here, warm colors. Warm colors are reds, and I want you to write this, oranges, and yellows. Pick any 3 warm colors and put them here. Cool colors, blues, greens, and violets. And I want you to write that. And then choose any 3 cool colors and put those here. They should be 3 different warm colors, 3 different cool colors. So these sections are for you to complete on your own. And that is that. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed working on this. And don't forget to turn this in with your name on it.